All right, so one of the things that I was just playing around with just now is that if you whenever we have this, I'm pressing the space bar like a lot, right? And then soon, if we add upgrades and stuff, it might be a little bit annoying to continuously have to press on the space bar. Actually, we also have to deal with this other issue that when we shoot everything, meteors don't even spawn. Okay, so let's deal with that issue first. So down here, okay, we're gonna go down to the code where it says that we are checking if a bullet hits a meteor. Perfect. So if a bullet hits, if there's a collision, then we need to spawn a new bullet. Now here's the thing: if we write if bullet collision, bulletcollision, if bullet collision, this just says if this happens, right? So if we shoot a meteor, like if we hit one meteor once, that's true. If we hit five of them, it's still true. That we hit at least one of them, and that there's one of them in the list. So what we need to do is we want to generate a new meteor every single time that there's a collision. So we're not going to say if, but we're going to say for, okay, for collision in bullet collision. Now, each time that there is a bullet collision, we shall, over here, create a new meteor, add it to the meteors group, and then add it to the all sprites. Now, one of the main things actually in computer science is this whole idea of iterations and doing something over and over again, right? It kind of like defeats the purpose. I could do this, okay? And if I needed to spawn another meteor, I could copy and paste this again and again and again. Or we're going to refactor this, which means that I'm going to come up here to my game functions and I'm going to create a whole new thing, literally called spawn new meteor, okay? Nope, no self, sorry about that. And this will literally just spawn a new meteor. So what I'll do is I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna paste this here. All right, and now every single time that I really want to make a new meteor, I can just come over here and just paste that, and I can come over here and I can just paste that. Okay, and let's see if this works. Oh, okay, well, totally spelled that wrong. I think I put too much of them. Bam, hold on, bam, bam, bam. Yes, I think that's actually, I think it looks pretty good. I don't really know what happened there. Okay, so go ahead and I'm shooting them, and you see that as I'm shooting them, it is generating new meteors randomly all the time, infinitely, until it comes to the point where one of them hits me, and then I die, right? But again, this piece was just to show you that we can write the function once, and then every single time that we need to create a new one, instead of doing all of this over again, we can literally just call spawn new meteor and it will do that. Okay, here this works because it's still going to iterate nine times, and each time it's going to create a new meteor, add it to the all meteors, add it to the all sprites, each time through that for loop. Okay, the other thing now was the automatic fire with the spacebar. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this off here, okay, because over here this happens every single time that there's a key down event, right? So that would mean that I'd have to click it down once, release, click it down again, release, click it down again, release, and do the same thing to get in order for me to generate the shooting the bullet. Whereas up here, if you remember in the player class, there we had a method here called movement. Let's see, right here. Okay, and this was the ship's movement left and right. Well, now we're just going to add something new to that. Okay, here the ship moves back and forth without the player or the user having to lift their hands off of the arrow keys, right? They don't have to keep clicking right. They can just hold down the right arrow key or the left arrow key and it'll move continuously. So we're going to do that here. If key state, which again looks for all the keys that are pressed, pygame.k underscore space, then we will say self dot shoot bullet. Okay, notice this time I'm not putting player.shootBullet because I'm already inside of the player class. I just have to call the method, which was this. Now we do need to do something here, because let me show you what happens if we don't. All right, if I press the spacebar now, and look what happens. Insane amount of, now I guess this is kind of cool, maybe it's like a power up, but this will actually make the game pretty boring if you're able to just do this all the time, right? So we need to change that. The way we're going to do that is we're going to set like a timer, and after every couple of milliseconds, a specific time rate, then a new bullet will be shot if the player is holding down a spacebar. So we can come over here now, and we're going to use self.last. I'm just going to make a random thing, last bullet shot. All right, and we're going to put this PyGame.time.getTicks. And what this does is that it keeps track of the number of milliseconds since PyGame was initialized, since the PyGame.init. So this is going to keep track of the milliseconds that have passed. And we're going to have now self dot. Actually, I think that might be okay for now. Let's see. All right, we'll come over here, and we're going to say the current time. Okay, so this will start as soon as we start the game, and it calls onto this class. This will start, okay, keeping track of time. Then when the player presses the space bar, okay, we're going to generate a second timer, and this will be the same thing. So pygame.time get ticks, right? And we're going to say now if the current time, okay, minus self.last bullet shot. Okay, so if the number of seconds or milliseconds, if the difference between them is greater than 50, now this is milliseconds, okay, then we shall do this. Now let me show you what happens when we do that, okay, because there is something here that we need to add. All right, so go ahead, I'm gonna run this. Nothing happens, right? Doesn't help at all. What we're forgetting to do here is that, all right, we have the current time, okay? We have the time that started. If the difference between the time is greater than 50, we need to then say that self.last bullet shot, okay, is equal to the current time. So we need to replace, we want to replace this, okay? If it's time to shoot a bullet, then make the last time that the bullet was shot, make that now. Okay, so like if I hit the player, if I hit the space bar, it's about to shoot a bullet, okay? Once the bullet gets shot, okay, this now becomes the last time that the bullet was shot, and that's going to be the current time. And then again, when the person is pressing the space bar, check to see has it been 50 milliseconds, shoot a new bullet. Now that bullet becomes the last bullet that gets shot. And if we do that, it'll look like this. Okay, now this is like way too fast. Okay, this is like literally, this is too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna change this. So instead of 50 milliseconds, which actually does sound like way too much, let's make it like 200. Okay, so now I'm holding down my space bar. Oh, I died already. That was a fail. Okay, I'm holding down my space bar. Oh crap, no, wait, hold on, no, I'm not. Holding down my space bar, and I can move around and I can shoot as I go. Okay, now of course we can probably make these asteroids come down faster, or we can just slow down the shoot rate, but this is essentially what it looks like. And it's a lot easier on the computer and a lot easier for yourself too to just hold it down. Right, so that's pretty much what we'll just do here. And then possibly in the next one, what we can do is we can start to import some graphics. Okay.